Reason number 1, men's brains are just wired differently. Men's brains are like an OR gate, and women's brains are like an AND gate. Men will feel attraction from just a pretty face, or just a nice figure, or just like sharing the same hobbies. There's not really much involved for a man to fall in love, and that's why there are so many simps in the world. Women, however, they prefer a handsome face, and a nice body, and a high-paying job, and a good personality. For example, there's a meme called the 666 rule. Basically, it says that women want a guy who is at least 6 feet tall, and he makes at least 6 figures, and he has at least a 6-inch you-know-what. Men and women's brains are actually really different, and it's proven by science. For example, scientists did an experiment to see how much they could excite monkeys. What they did was that they got a female monkey, and they put a big fake red butt on her. And as the scientists increased the size of the butt and made it more and more red, the monkeys kept getting more and more excited. It was so easy to excite the monkeys. Wow, men are kind of simple. But women, they don't really get turned on by just like a picture of a butt. Women prefer to get absorbed in things such as romance novels and soap operas. And these types of stories, the guy is always tall and handsome, and he's some sort of important or rich guy, and he always has a really good personality. So what does this mean for VRChat? Well, basically, since anyone in VRChat can be beautiful with just one click of the button, that means that men can fall in love with basically every other person in the entire game. And that's why there are so many gay or trans couples in VRChat, because men don't care if you have a male voice in real life, or if you're ugly in real life, or if you have a you-know-what between your legs. As long as you look attractive in VRChat, then you activate the OR gate within the male brain, and then some guy probably wants to be with you. And that's a good thing. I'm happy that people can freely and easily find happiness in the virtual world. Reason number 2, loneliness and depression. Lots of people use virtual reality as a way to escape their depressing lives and their lack of any friends. And I think that's a good thing. But did you know that some people also use VR as a way to have relationships? It's true. A lot of people who get into relationships in VRChat, they're straight, but they end up with other men. This phenomenon is known as being prison gay. Basically when guys can't meet women in real life because, well, they're literally in prison, or maybe they're just really, really unattractive. When this happens, they might seek other men for comfort, and sometimes even physical pleasure. And as you can imagine, it's very, very common in VRChat, because a lot of players are nerds, and well, they just can't get a date. And I think that's a great thing. Like, can you imagine being alone and unloved in this scary world? Science says that being avoided and ostracized is literally worse than death. Animals in the wild, when they get lonely enough, they will literally drop dead and die. Experts agree, it's true. I think that in these turbulent times, guys really want a girlfriend to help them, because there's inflation and there's violence. And not only that, but according to statistics, marriage, relationships, and intimate physical activity are at an all-time low. Guys just can't seem to find happiness anywhere, and that's why they've turned to each other. And that's a good thing. After all, back in the day, samurais would often have a younger apprentice to keep them company on lonely nights. And personally, I think samurais are really cool. Mondo muyo! Reason number 3. Acting feminine or zesty in VRChat makes people treat you better. So this one is super interesting. Because VRChat is populated overwhelmingly by prison gay guys, acting a little feminine or cute or ditzy increases your reputation by like 100-fold. Not that I do this. I act completely normal. But from what I observed, if you can do a female voice, whether from being biologically female or doing voice training, you're literally at the top of the food chain in VRChat. I've seen it. Similarly, acting feminine or gay also increases your reputation. So that's why a lot of people seem gay, but actually, they're just performing unconsciously learned behavior that gets them rewarded in the virtual world. And that's a good thing, because in the real world, if you're unattractive and poor, then you're basically invisible. The only time society notices low-status males in real life is to make fun of them or attack them. And I think that's really sad, because I have a lot of friends who would be considered low-status males, meaning they're not attractive and they're not rich. But to me, that doesn't even matter, because they're all really nice guys. So that's why a lot of guys, when they get sick of being treated like trash in real life, they go to places like VRChat and Discord and act cute. It's because they just want to be treated like they're human. Now, if you want to hear about my experience, then I definitely don't act cute in VRChat on purpose. But apparently, as I played it, people like consider my avatar to be cute, which is true. But also people consider my movements to be cute, which is kind of confusing because I'm not doing it on purpose. And even though I'm not doing cute movements on purpose, I noticed that I get a lot better treatment than the other guys who are just acting like, well, you know, guys. So for all the guys out there who are sick of being treated like trash in real life, I really, really don't blame you for acting cute online. Because even though other people, they might want to insult you and call you quote-unquote gay or whatever, I know that you just want to be liked. And being liked is a good thing. Reason number 4, more customization options. Did you know? A lot of people don't just buy avatars for VRChat and then end it there. Mostly everyone I know, they buy an avatar and then they use it as a base to change the clothes, change the hair, change the eye color, make them bigger or smaller. Basically the possibilities are endless. And me personally, I've always loved doing this. Like back in the day, I would play like dress-up games online, or I would play games like Soul Calibur, where you can edit characters and change and customize every single part of their body. Character customization was basically my childhood. And as it turns out, in VRChat, female avatars have like 100 or 1,000 times more customization options than males. That's why, to some uneducated observers, VRChat players seem like girly or sissy based on their fashion choices. People are like, oh, you're wearing girly clothes, therefore you're gay. Basically stuff like that. But I assure you, this is a very dumb and stupid way to think. Mature adults like me, who have a lot of money, we realize that avatars are not like literally us. Like the figure I see in the mirror, it's not literally me in real life, okay? It's just a cute video game doll that I can dress up and I can pose it and I can make it dance. And then one thing I like to do is like put on new fashion and then compare it with my friends and just see what kind of fashion ideas we have. Like if you think it's gay to dress up in frilly succubus outfits with your friends, that says a lot more about your insecurity than it says about me. I'm just saying. And reason number 5 is AGP, which stands for autogynephilia. AGP is when a guy gets excited at the thought of being in a woman's body, whether through transformation or rebirth or like possession or whatever like magical fictional means. If a guy gets excited by that, well, that's called AGP. And many people with AGP, they end up in VRChat because, well, you can have a female avatar and you can look at the whole world in first person. You can gaze at your soft and moisturized face in the mirror. You can expect every little wrinkle on your silky and frilly garments. And you can see the sheen of the tight latex that's hugging your curves. Or at least that's what my friend told me. I don't really care much about all this. Anyway, my point is that this is another reason why you think that VRChat players are gay. Actually, a lot of VRChat players are really, really straight. It's just that they like the female body in a certain way that excites them, so it just seems gay to ignorant people. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with AGP, because 1, kink shaming is bad. No one should ever be shamed for a certain kink that they're into. That's why I came out about my kinks to my parents. And 2, imagine if these AGP guys had no outlet for their urges in real life. I think that if they had to like repress their urges and act normal, then they would become really demented and really deranged. And eventually like they would bottle up their urges so much that they would go out and commit horrible and violent crimes. And obviously that is really not good. But thanks to VR, these guys can safely and easily engage in AGP behavior without hurting anyone. They can do it safely and freely, and that's awesome. They can also meet other guys with AGP and share their experiences with each other. So now they don't have to feel demented or deranged or however society wants them to feel. Thanks to VR, they can be comfortable with who they are, and they can find their place in a whole big community of guys with AGP, and I think that's really awesome. So yeah, obviously there are a lot of actual gay and trans people in VRChat. And that's a good thing. But if you look beneath the surface, it's actually a bit more complicated and diverse than that. So if you think I'm insane or crazy, then let me know in the comments. And if you became gay, or you realize that you were just prison gay thanks to VRChat, then also let me know in the comments. I can't wait to hear your stories. And if you want to know more VRChat tips and tricks, as well as specific gear to buy, then like and subscribe. See you guys next week.